Howdy, folks. I'm going to read a story tonight from Population 485, which is a book about my hometown, New Auburn, Wisconsin. This book has been good to me, man, and that place has been good to me. And this is a story I used to do all the time at live events, and it's just about how sometimes when you get paged out on an emergency call, you really have no idea what you're getting into. My brother John is a bearded, backwoods-looking fella. Lives in a log cabin, owns his own dump truck. He was on a call up in Chautauqua last summer when he got paged out on a lifeline call. The lifeline's a big button attached to a bracelet or necklace and worn by elderly or infirm patients. In an emergency, they just punch the button and their address pops up with an alarm at the dispatch center. And then we get paged out. Even more than your average call, you don't know what you're getting into with lifeline pages. All you know is someone has pressed the alarm. So in the book, it actually says all you know, but where I'm from, in Auburn, you say, all you know is... The call was out in the country, and John and his partner Sharon made good time, lights and sirens all the way. It was a hot day, and when they arrived at the address, a lady was sitting in the yard on an electric scooter. Beside her was a prostrate goose, covered with frisbees. It seems the goose had passed out in the heat. The frisbees were for shade. I can't pick him up, said the lady, and I need to get him in the shed where it's cool. Moving carefully, my brother picked up the goose and placed it in the shed. He says it didn't look good for the goose. In the meantime, the deputy sheriff who had responded tried as gently as he could to explain to the lady that this was not appropriate use of the lifeline. John and Sharon drove back to the hall and entered the run in the logbook. Under Nature of Call, John wrote, Goose Weakness. Over the years, your calls tend to conflate. Time presses singular events into the thin strata of history. We accumulate a body of calls like an artist accumulates a body of work. It becomes difficult to recall specific works. Some, like the Goose Weakness, stand out. Most recede to latent memory. You have to remind yourself sometimes then that with the exception of a few frequent flyers, your arrival at the end of the driveway is a significant event in the lives of those who call for help. It's not just another call. It is a moment likely to be incorporated into family lore as the day the ambulance came. You try to act accordingly, to meet the expectations, to simply help. You won't always live up to the hype. What we're going to do, I was saying on one call, when the woman on the couch interrupted me, oh, I know, she said, I've seen paramedics on the television. This is like telling your little leaguer you expect him to yank a Randy Johnson fastball over the left field wall. We are basic level emergency medical technicians. We have skills, but they're basic. We can't always match what you see on the TV. But people are generally kind. A week after John carried the goose to the shed, a painstakingly scribed note arrived in the mail. Dear Abilene driver with beard, I'm sorry. I just wanted you to help my goose. Thank you for your help putting him barn. She was in 30s years. She died at 1 p.m. that day. On emergency room television shows, they fix animals. The policeman made me feel bad. I will not wear Lifeline anymore. I did not call policeman. Thank you for helping. Ramona. P.S. He died with his wings out. He went to heaven. A quick P.S. on that. It bothered me for the longest time that she said I won't wear my Lifeline anymore. And a few years after the book came out, I did an event back in my home area, and that woman's, I believe her granddaughter showed up. And I said, please tell your grandmother to put her Lifeline back on. And she assured me that her grandmother was wearing her Lifeline again. So I think that's a nice little wrap up to that story. Take care of each other. Forward.